I tell you what, I am so glad to have the opportunity to come before you today on a Wednesday show and to talk to you guys. I am. I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased that we're going to be introducing a brand new show sponsor. You guys, we've kind of been teasing you a little bit if you've been paying attention. If you're paying attention to what we do, you won't be surprised. If, on the other hand, you do not pay attention to what we do here, which just sometimes shocks me. You know, we spend all this time on the radio. We spend all this time on the radio, and then people are like, I don't know what you're talking about. Why would you do like we only spent the last 4 weeks talking about that. But hi, welcome. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Brownells Bullet Points, of course, a Student of the Gun homeroom brought to you by our good friends at Crossbreed Holsters. And then we're going to help you to help your kids and well, maybe not just kids. You might be able to help other adults if they can be helped. We'll find out. All that on today's super cool bonus. Well, no, soon to be award winning. Well, we already won an award. Well, we could win another one. We're going to get a Marconi Award.
Yeah.
What I want, my man.
Yeah. Hey, Zach, FYI, turn the video on.
Turn the video on.
I was helping out our people that are listening live on Discord. They said, no video?
No video?
And if you're not part of the Discord server, you can get into the public Discord server. It's studentofthegun.com/Discord, and you can watch these things live.
Yes, you can. All right, so Zach, play that funky music, Caucasian male.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is I. And all right, so we are going to welcome a brand new sponsor. They are SDS Sierra Delta Sierra Imports. SDS Imports, and I believe their website is just SDSimports.com, right?
It is.
SDSimports.com. They are the purveyors of handguns and shotguns and pieces and parts and all kinds of stuff. And you say, you're scratching your noodle right now. And you're like, it seems to me that Paul was just yakking about some of their stuff here recently. Yeah, Paul was yakking about that. I just did a full and complete review of the Bantam, BANTAM, the Bantam 1911. It is a Colt Commander size, and it has a crap ton of custom features. Essentially, if it had a different name on it, if it had the initials WC on it, or K with a Hydroshock on it, or something like that, it would be at least $2,000 easily. The amount of custom features that they built into this gun, if it didn't come from them, if it came from another company, it would probably cost $2,000. But it doesn't cost $2,000. Its MSRP is $11.99, which isn't cheap. But when you see what you get, and if you've ever shopped for custom 1911s, you're not getting a custom 1911 for $500, Jack. It's not going to happen. No, man, I could get a custom 19. I have a friend of mine that does custom guns, and he can build me one for $500. Yeah, I bet he can. I bet it'll be great, like Tony the Tiger said. The other thing that we've been teasing you guys with, we haven't done a full review yet. I've been working with it. Is a semi-auto shotgun that they offer. They have a bunch. You're like, which one? It's the M12AB. Now, the M12AB was actually just reviewed by our buddy Josh Brooks over at Full 30. And the one that he reviewed, I'm going to give you guys a super sneak preview behind the scenes. That's my gun. That's the gun that I've been posting pictures of. You mean you let, yeah. Actually, I let that turd shoot it before I did. He shot that gun before I did.
That's
Matter of fact,
this
a
guy.
bunch of people shot that gun before I did.
Well, I let both of you shoot it before I shot it. So
There
that's
you
what's
go.
messed up.
Yeah. When I came to the ranch and Josh was all excited, he's like, "Hey, everybody shot your gun today." I was like, "Wow, did they have fun?
Thanks.
Did they have a good time with it?" And he's like, "Yeah, we did. We had a great time with it." So that's going to be coming up. That was actually a pleasant surprise to me, because I've shot, or I had previous experiences, and I told you guys, with these imported magazine fed 12 gauges. And my previous experiences have been. So we talked about that on the What is a Bullpup Shotgun show. Not going to rehash that. But it's from SDS Imports, and they have come on board because they fully support and endorse what we do here at Student of the Gun. So if you follow them on socialist media, whether it's their Instagram-age or their Facebook-age or whatever, it would be cool for you. Yes, you. Talking to you. I'm even looking at you. It would be cool for you to pop over there and say, "Hey, man, I heard you're working with Student of the Gun officially, and I think that's righteous, and thank you." Or words to that effect. Whatever. Words to that effect. All right, Zach, are you ready to bump us in for the Brownells bullet points of the day? Bing, bang, boom. All right, Brownells bullet points. What is going on? Zach said, you already told people that they have ammo in stock, so you don't need to tell them anymore. Okay, so they have ammo in stock. But what else do they have in stock? In stock. Well, if you, and we've talked about how cool it is to actually build your own gun because you're an American, and I don't give a crap what the AFT says. I got that right? AFT?
AFT special agent.
That's right. I don't want to insult President Sniffy Joe by correcting him. I'm not that important of a person that I'm allowed to correct the President of the United States. So despite what the AFT says, you can build your own gun in America. You can buy the parts, and Brownells has slides for G-Lock builds. They are Brownells official products, and they've got the 19 size, they got the 17 size, they got the 34 size if you want to go crazy. 26, they have size 26 slides, they have size 48 slides, and of course, you're like, well, okay, the slides are cool, but what am I going to put them on? I don't know, put them on anything you want, man. Put them on your existing gun, or if you really wanted to live like a free man or a free woman, you could go over to Polymer 80, or you go to Brownells and get them. You can get a Polymer 80 lower. And we actually did the Polymer 80 lower a couple of years ago. It was when we were still in Salt Lake City. And it was not that hard. As a matter of fact, there's a couple of videos online that show you how to do it with hand tools. There's actually, remember we talked about the one, Jared, where the guy went out and he actually got one of the hand drills.
Oh yeah.
He said, he said, when I said hand tools, I don't mean like a power drill. I mean manually power tools. And he did it, and he demonstrated. He said, I got a file. I've got this hand crank drill here, and I'm going to do it all by hand. And he did it. So if that dude can do it by hand with literal hand tools, not notional,
not figurative,
not figurative, but if a dude can do it with like a file and a hand drill, you can do it. I promise. So that's actually pretty righteous. You can get a exclusive Brownells Polymer 80 lower for $149, and then you can get the upper, the UPPER, the upper for $239. So do your math there. 240 plus 150 is $390. You just scratched your head and you said, "Oh, hang on a second. That's a $390 investment for a G-Lock that I'm building myself." Now, you need a trigger. Do I? Yeah, you do. You need the internals. I would suggest that you purchase the trigger.
Yeah,
It will be
make that.
it'll be a more pleasant experience for you if you actually purchase the trigger. But yeah, if you scratch your noodle, you could actually, for under $500, build your own custom. You built it at your bench, all by yourself, G-Lock style gun. It's not an official Glock and you can even put your own name on it, man. If you're cool and you have a laser engraver, you can put Bob's gun on the side or whatever you want to do because you're an American. And we endorse you being an American and behaving like an American and living like an American. So if you want to do that, I think you should do it. Jump in with both feet, and Brownells can help you. They got everything you need to start from the very beginning and build it all the way up and make it your own. So that is very cool. So support those guys because they support you. And obviously you can follow their newsletter or you can text what to what?
BRN to 556-223.
Mm-hmm. Do it. All right. Duracoat. Why? Because life is too short
to have an ugly gun.
Yes. Life is too short to have an ugly gun. You don't want to have one. I don't want to have one. You just don't. Well, asterisk, there is one caveat to the ugly gun. There's one.
Oh, yeah, there is one.
There's one. And some finishes are so ugly that they're beautiful. And then that's coming up. That's coming up in the very near future.
Stay tuned for a video series.
There will be one where I show you that you can do a finish that is ugly but beautiful at the same time. However, for our normal conversation, life's too short to have an ugly gun. Go to Duracoat University or Duracoat Firearms Finishes. Sign up at the university. Do good things. Make your friends happy. Put some ducats, put some Republic credits in your account, and you'll be good to go. Oh, man, I tell you what I did today. You want to know what I did today before I got to this microphone?
What?
I crushed a mother-fletching, a mother-loving workout. I did. Today was my workout day, my training day. I went out into the hashtag garage gym life, and I crushed that mother lover.
Hashtag garage gym life. Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it actually is. Hashtag garage gym is huge, and then it's almost too big because things just get lost. But garage gym life is another one, but it's not quite as big, so stuff doesn't get lost quite as fast. But I'm going to admit to you guys that I went ahead and did the Matrix thing. I did one red, one blue. Because I'm trying to drop a little bit of weight so I look sexy in shorts. And the audience just went, ugh! I don't need that image. Oh, you do need that image. Trust me. Trust me, you do. So I went out and I crushed a squat, and I had squat press deadlift today. And it was a medium deadlift and a heavy press and a relatively heavy squat. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of my presses. I'm back up to 140 for workouts for not a max, not a single rep, just
for your
working
weight.
My working weights. Press is 140. I was up to 150, and then I took a couple weeks off. I don't remember why. Why did I have all that time off? I had a couple weeks off. But
good question.
I dropped a little bit, but I'm back. I'm back, baby. So, yep. And the reason I mention that is because if you need an extra kick in the pants, a little kick in your fanny, SWAT Fuel still has 9mm, the energy formula in stock, so you can. And they will accept Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
I will accept Bitcoin and maybe Dogecoin and Ethereum. If you would like to pay for your grad program membership in cryptocurrency, then let me know and we will accept it.
Well, there you go. Is that an official thing? Is that a platform thing? Can they do that right now?
Well, yeah, by contacting me.
Okay. Yeah, Jared says if you contact him, then you can do that. So there you go. All right, so moving on, kids. It's Wednesday, and every Wednesday I shut my mouth and I let Zach talk to you guys. So today is no different.
ShopSOTG.com is the perfect place to go if you are a student of the gun. Whether you want to expand your brain, increase your marksmanship, or help keep your family safe. All that, plus the pimp hand brands that you love. ShopSOTG.com has almost anything that an American patriot would want. Education, enlightenment, and entertainment, and we're open 24/7. Check out ShopSOTG.com today and see for yourself.
Brett Loy says, why don't we change Discord to Detcord? And I am 100% behind that.
Detcord.
I am 100% behind that. We need to come up with our own platform, and we need to call that mother lover Detcord. Detcord. So Zach was just rapping about the pimp hand brands that you love. And we've been mind melding here behind the scenes. And we've got a couple of new T-shirt ideas that are floating right now. If you are fans of our T-shirts, which you should be, Zach is going to crank out at least one, probably two, in the very near future. And I think you're going to like them. I was on the phone with Uncle Dave today, and he wanted to know when we're doing that one. To be a man among men. When he's like, what? He goes, when's that going to be out? When can I get one? I said, soon, Dave. Soon. He's like, you need to crush that. I said, you're right. We do. We actually do need to crush that. So, but that's coming up. Now, pay close attention. There's so much good stuff at Shop SOTG.
Yeah. The best way to be notified when these new things come out, free or paid products, then is just go to studentofthegun.com, sign up for that newsletter, and we will send it to you when it's out. Sometimes we send, if you provide your phone number, we'll send you a text message. There's always a human on the other end of emails and text messages. It might take a little while to get a reply depending on the volume of replies that we've got, but there is a human on the other end. It's not just blasting your phone or blasting your email. We try not to do that to you guys.
Yeah. All right, so Crossbreed Holsters. Every single week we do a Student of the Gun homeroom. Get it? Student, homeroom, us, university. You figured it out. And the people who bring that to you is Crossbreed Holsters. And there is a theme song. Hey, that's Dangerous by Madison Rising. And that, of course, is the theme of the homeroom, is to be dangerous on demand. If you guys have not quite got it by now, I'm not really sure how you're going to, but no, I'm sure that you're with us. I went to Crossbreed Holsters. Actually, the reason I know this is because I saw an ad on the Instagrammage about the Reckoning 15% off sale. Right now, as I speak these words into this microphone, they are holding a sale at Crossbreed. 15% off the Reckoning holster. I'm wearing a Reckoning holster right now, this very second. So I can tell you guys that they're good holsters. I can tell you guys that you will be happy. Actually, I'm not going to say his last name because he didn't give me permission, but our friend James said, he said, I could never get into the inside the waistband holster thing. And he said, I just couldn't do it. Can't do it. He said, but then you were talking about the Reckoning and how it's modular, how you can change it from IWB to OWB. He said, so I was like, okay, I'll buy one. So he bought a Reckoning, and he said, and he drove basically over a period of 2 days to get here. He said, I wore that gun in that holster the whole time, driving 12 hours a day, and it was totally comfortable. I said, yeah, that's what happens when you listen to me.
Welcome to the party, sir.
Welcome to the party, biatch. And if you want to party like it's 1999, they are doing something really super fun. They're still offering the Taco Tuesday special limited edition Reckonings. I know Melissa got in on this the first time when they did it. I think it was so popular. They did it as a lark, but it was so popular. They said, okay, you hippies want it. We're going to give it to you. So they have a limited edition Taco Tuesday Reckoning holster. You got to go to the website. You got to go to the website and check it out. And some of you don't get it, but those of you who do will truly and genuinely appreciate this. I know that when Melissa got hers, she put a picture of it up in the Liberty Mastermind for everybody to see and be jealous over. So that is the state of the industry over there at Crossbreed Holsters. And I just thought you deserved to know. Now, Jared, the rumor is, and this rumor actually came from those folks out on the other side of the radio, that if you use your promo code, you still get a discount.
I'm looking at that right now.
I'm not sure right now, but I think if you go and get the Taco Tuesday holster and put in the promo code SOTG, that you will get the discount. And if so, that's freaking righteous. That is righteous of them. Because a lot of companies, most companies are like, no discount codes apply. It's a sale. That's it. But
which is, I mean,
very standard. I mean, you don't want them to
probably
lose
the way it should be.
We don't want people to lose money, but I've had people come back to me and they're like, dude, I didn't think I was going to get the discount. And I put it in there and they're like, yeah, we'll honor it. Like, you guys you're my bros. You're my bros. And isn't it amazing how we have such good people as sponsors?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like we set that up on purpose. The moral of the story is this: you absolutely must be ready and to be dangerous on demand. The time is now, not next week, not next month, not eventually when I get around to it. If you have not gotten serious about carrying your gun every single day, I'm not sure what else to do to convince you, but do it. Get training, get the gear, carry it, move on with your life. You'll be glad you did. And they can help you out, and we're here to help. I actually just wrote an article I've been approached by a couple of different publishing entities, I guess you would say. Not publishing houses or publishers, because it's a weird world we live in. When you say publishers or publishing houses, people think paper and ink and stuff, but it's not really that. It's the internet. But I've been approached by a couple of publishing entities about producing material for them. And so this weekend I sat down and I did that. I considered, the topic of what's important to a gun carrier. And as far as, what do you need to have on you? What should you have? The fundamental 4, I talked about that. I talked about quality of holsters. I talked about, I'm dealing with these things, and I've had basically I've been refocusing on that. People say, well, I don't carry because I tried and my the gun was always shifting around. It was always moving or yada, yada. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. You didn't buy a good holster. Oh no. The ad said, okay. But the proof is in the pudding, brothers and sisters. If you can't put the holster on and just leave it alone and wear it all day, 8 hours, 10 hours, if you can't do that, it's not a good holster. You got to do it. And you're like, oh, it tugs down on my pants. Well, what belt are you using? Oh, I'm not using a belt. That's why it's pulling down on your pants, hippie. Buy a good belt, get a good holster, wear your gun, and move on with your life, and you'll be happy about it. So that is the moral of the story from today's Student of the Gun Homeroom is you need to be ready. Invest in good gear, wear it, be ready, and you'll be good to go. And if you're not sure, go ahead and pop over and get the Armed Living DVD. It's a digital video download. We don't send you an actual shiny disc anymore. Do we even We don't even stock the little shiny discs anymore, do we?
We haven't
No,
had those
nobody-
since Mississippi.
There's like 2 people out of every 100 that are like, hey, maybe you should do DVDs. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah.
If we had more requests, we would do it.
He just did a blowout on his. They did an inventory apparently because he's like, here's the deal. Get them out of here.
Mm-hmm.
They need to go away. Whoever wants them, just make them go away. It's a digital video download. It's called Armed Living. It's available from us, like Zach just said, at Shop SOTG. And it answers lots and lots of questions. And I actually just referenced this in an article that I recently wrote because people are asking, like, okay, I got a gun. When am I allowed to shoot? Well, that's a good question. And you need to know, and you need to have that information in your brain long before you need it. You don't want to be making it up on the spot. That's a recipe for disaster. So there you go. Good stuff. All right. Oh, you've been waiting. You know you have. You've been out there, especially my diehard fans, my super fans. You've been out there, and you're like, oh, I can't wait for Paul to come and talk about this. I'm dying. I'm freaking out. The irony or the craziness is that Jared was away last week, had himself a little fun time, personal time. And so Zach and I recorded Monday's show on Friday, right? Yes. We talked about the folly of Afghanistan. This was before the weekend blowout. We talked about how intelligence analysts went to Sniffy Joe back in March and said, hey, Sniffy, we need to have a plan because we're intelligence analysts and we're analyzing what's going on over there. And we need to have a solid plan in place. Okay? Because if we don't, I love this optimism that they had. Because they said, if we don't have a solid plan in place, Jared, you remember what their original estimate was for the Taliban to take over the country?
A few months, wasn't it?
That was 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. Oh.
They're like, if we don't have a solid plan in place, if we just say, peace, we're out of here, that within 2 to 3 years, they will retake the entire country. That was in March. And Sniffy was like, whatever. I know what I'm doing here. Okay. Then they came back and they revised it. And then in July, they had the big press conference the first week of July after the holiday weekend. And they asked him, they said, don't you think that Taliban's going to take over? And he said, no, that's not going to happen. Okay. Do you trust the Taliban? Well, why would you ask me that question? It's a fun read. If you haven't read that, it's a fun read. So we had that, and then they revised it. Then the analysts came out and they're like, hey, if we don't have a solid plan in place, they're going to take this place over in 6 months. All right. Okay. Getting closer. And my buddy Court Graham, if you guys aren't following my buddy up in Alaska, Court, he's a smart dude when it comes to, well, he likes to eat. And he likes to eat good food. He's up there smoking salmon right now. Not like the reefer, but he's like, actually, he's smoking salmon in a reefer? Mm-hmm. You're like, what? What are you said reefer, smoke, and salmon all in the same sentence. No, yesterday, he told me he got an old refrigerator, from a closed down Stop and Rob or 7-Eleven or something. Anyway, so he converted it into a smoker. So he's up there in Alaska, and he's out there catching these monster salmon.
Yeah.
Like crazy huge. And he's doing the whole fillet thing, and he's smoking them because smoked salmon is some good stuff, right? Well, Court was actually, his dad worked for the government in the country of Vietnam during the Vietnam War. And he said he remembered, he's a couple of years older than me, watching the fall of Saigon on TV and thinking that he had friends that were in Vietnam when that went down. So about a week ago, maybe 8-9 days ago, my phone rings and Cork calls me and he said, "You ready to watch The Fall of Saigon Part 2?" And I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, I've been paying attention." He said, "I've been watching and reading." And so this is like 8-9 days ago. He said, "It's going to happen again." He said, "The embassy's going to fall and they're going to have to pull people out by helicopter." And I said, "No kidding." He said, "Yeah." So I started paying closer attention, started reading more of these stories. And I was like, oh. So last Friday, we talk about that. Before Monday could arrive, before 3 days had a chance to go by, it collapsed. It descended into chaos. Well, okay. Yeah. So on 7/8/21, is the Taliban, this is a reporter, to Sniffy Joe on 7. This is only, let me see, what month is this? August? This is the middle of August as you're listening. So 6 weeks ago, maybe 5, and a reporter asked Sniffy Joe, "Is a Taliban takeover of Afghanistan inevitable?" No, it is not. Okay. All right. So why do you need to know this? Ladies and gentlemen, I know that your kids' schools are not going to teach them history. I know that the news media and the socialist media are not interested in teaching your kids history. Not interested at all. But you have to know it. And fortunately, that it's so brazen, and it's so in our face that even CNN can't ignore it. We've got the first story, and this sickens me, but we can't turn away. Zach, listen to me. Are you there?
I'm right here. What's up?
Season 1, Episode 1 of Game of Thrones. Bran.
Correct. Yes, what's happening?
All right. What did Sean Bean, the king, what was his name in the show? Winter's Coming?
Jon Snow?
No, Jon Snow was his kid.
Just kidding.
Stark. I don't remember. Fuck that. Forget that show.
Eddard Stark.
Hey, Zach, you need to write that time down.
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Eddard Stark. Okay, Stark. What happened in Game of Thrones, right? They capture a deserter from the Night's Watch. Doesn't want to, but it's his duty. He's got to execute him, right? Because desertion, the price of desertion is execution. Everybody knows that. That's the way it is. And Bran's there with him, right? And he wants to turn away. And what does Stark do? Makes him watch. Because he knows, he's like, this is reality. And you can't turn away and you can't ignore it and you can't pretend it.
And that was
this
Rob,
story is crap. It makes me angry. But we can't turn away from it. We can't look the other way. We can't tear down a statue because we don't like it. See, that's what the other side does. The other side says, I don't like that fact. I don't like that history, so I'm going to ignore it or silence it or pretend it didn't happen. Was it, oh man, the colonel, the black colonel from Florida. Oh, he said, he gave a quote and he said, history is not here for you to like or dislike, approve of or disapprove of. History is here for you to learn from. And I thought that was a fantastic quote. So, Jared, go ahead and hit us with the first story, and then Zach's going to play the audio. I want you guys to listen to this audio.
This is from July 14th, 2021. From CNN, it says, Taliban fighters execute 22 Afghan commandos as they tried to surrender. There's a video here that will be played when Zach, go ahead and let me know when you're ready. I'll read until then.
I've had it ready since we started recording.
Okay, well, we'll go ahead and play it then.
All right, listen up, pay attention.
We want to warn you, some of the video we're about to show you in this story is disturbing. New this morning, the Taliban denies its fighters executed 22 unarmed Afghan commandos who were trying to surrender, even though the slaughter was caught on video. The incident is emblematic of issues that could plague Afghanistan after the U.S. completes its withdrawal.
Anna Koren is live in Afghanistan. Anna, exactly how can the Taliban even begin to deny what the world can clearly see for itself in that video?
Yeah, Paula, the Taliban is certainly on a PR offensive to discredit us and our reporting. We contacted the Taliban before our story went to air. They said the footage was fake, that it was government propaganda to scare troops into surrendering. And since our story has gone to air, they have issued a statement in multiple languages, once again confirming that the footage is fake and that they have never executed commandos who surrendered. Now, for the record, CNN spoke to 5 eyewitnesses on camera from this district. These people were in this market. They saw this happen. They saw the commandos surrender. They saw them put their arms in the air, and they saw the Taliban shoot them. Now, these people don't need to speak to us. They do not need to put their lives at risk to confirm what took place in this village, but they did. The Ministry of Defence has described this as a war crime. They said this is not the first time that the Taliban has executed the military and innocent civilians. Amnesty International has also weighed in, also describing it as war crimes and cold-blooded murder. Let me read you a statement from Amnesty International.
Please.
This evidence suggests that the Taliban's persistent claims to have changed their ways are predicated on a lie and completely undermines their claims that they will respect human rights in the peace process. Now, let's be frank, this is a PR disaster for the Taliban. Remember, you've got the political wing of the Taliban in Doha, you have the military wing in Pakistan, and then you have the fighters here in Afghanistan. The political wing is certainly trying to portray itself as a legitimate alternate governing body, that it's modernized, evolved, that it's not the same group that it was 20 years ago. But this video just goes to show that that is not true. This is the same group that is about to head to Doha, Qatar, and have peace talks with a high-level delegation from the Afghan government in the coming days. Really, as I say, this video just goes to show that they are still the same brutal, violent, primeval group that they have always been.
And this video, Anna, makes it terrifying to think about what leaving Afghanistan is going to mean for women. You know, historically marginalized, and now the concerns about their safety are very serious here, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, Christine. We're already hearing from local journalists in these provinces and districts that have been taken over by the Taliban of the horrific treatment of women. Orders have gone up, you know, telling women they have to stay indoors. They're not allowed to go outside. We heard from one woman who went to the market by herself without a male chaperone, and she was whipped. This is a story that we are hearing over and over and over again, this treatment of women. And remember that political delegation of the Taliban was in Moscow last week, meeting with the Russian government, trying to tell the world that women can now work, they can now be educated, that girls can go to school. It's just not stacking up.
Yeah, the reality on the ground, much different. Anna Koren, thank you so much for all the work you're doing there for us as we record this historic withdrawal of the U.S. from Afghanistan. Thank you, Anna.
Guys, tell me something. Isn't this the same? Did you see the before-after picture, Jared, the composition picture of the CNN reporter? I think it was this one. On Saturday, she was reporting live from Kabul, right, in normal Western clothing. And then Sunday, she's reporting live from Kabul in full burqa. Oh, yeah. It's all over the internet. You guys sent it to me. It's a CNN reporter at a chick. And, yeah, on Saturday, she's like wearing her normal Western clothing, you know. And then Sunday, she's out on the street reporting in a full black burqa. Wow. Really?
So she doesn't get whipped.
Yeah, so she didn't get whipped. That doesn't mean she wasn't like tired. Like, man, I'm whipped. Whipped. Here's the deal with this story. And I don't know what happened in the interim, because when I listened to this video, they interviewed the dead soldier's father. Is that in there, or did we lose that, Zach? One of the soldiers was trained.
I didn't take anything out of the notes.
Okay, well, apparently there's two different videos in this story. But one of the soldiers that was murdered was trained in the United States, and he was the son of an Afghani general.
Yeah, the second video down.
That's the second video down actually talks about that.
Yep.
Oh.
You want to play that one?
Yeah, can we get to the interview with the dad? Because I really, really want you guys to hear what the dad has to say about what was going on there when this went down.
Zach, it looks like the interview with the dad starts at about 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
And
Well, and here's the crazy thing. Did you guys see who tagged this? The tag on the videos?
no.
Our boys over at Funker 530.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the videos tagged in this are Funker 530 videos. We know somebody that works here.
How do we, what?
I got the video propped ready.
Okay, go ahead and play it.
Events took place. The commandos called for air and ground support, but none came, says this local resident. Then they surrendered, but the Taliban just shot them. Among the dead, 32-year-old commando Sohrab Azimi, the son of a retired Afghan general. This born leader did his military training in the United States and was due to marry his American fiancée next month. His father said Sohrab tried to call in air support during the attack, but it never came. Anyone would be angry if that happened to their son, he tells me. Why didn't they support the operation? And why did someone tell the Taliban they were coming? Ever since the US announced its withdrawal, an emboldened Taliban has launched offensives across the country. The militants have gone to great lengths to show they're accepting the surrender of Afghan troops. But that PR effort is contradicted by the commando execution. A week before the massacre, this video was taken of Afghan special forces in the same district attempting a clearing operation. When that mission proved unsuccessful, Sohrab's unit was called in. The Taliban said when foreigners leave, they will stop fighting and make peace. How long will they continue killing our brothers in this country?
All right, go ahead and pull it down.
Eyewitnesses say they did not understand the
Did you guys hear that?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a couple things working right here. We've got a unit that called for air and ground support and got none. And he said it a couple times. And also he said that as soon as the United States publicly announced the withdrawal, the Taliban intensified their attacks across the country. This is no kidding. What did we talk about on Monday, Zach, about how apparently our leaders and our generals have never read Sun Tzu? Why do you tell your enemy, why do you give your enemy a timeline? What's that? Why do you give your enemy, what do you tell them, hey, we're going to leave and this is when? Okay, thanks. And we're surprised. Now, I don't know whether it was the Afghan army that was supposed to come in and help these dudes out, because he doesn't say, or whether the call for help was to U.S. big army, and they didn't. But either way, these guys were betrayed. They were left hanging in the wind. We went over there 20 years ago, and we made promises to these guys. Like, oh man, support us. You know, you need to come on our team and we'll make everything better. Okay, cool. Story number 2, businessinsider.com. This is for all of you guys out there. All of you guys out there, and some of you are in my audience, who are the I don't care about Afghanistan. It doesn't matter to me. It's on the other side of the world. It's their problem. It shouldn't be our problem. We're not the world's police. So who cares? Okay, cool. Story from August 15th, Jared. Hey, Jared,
It
turn
would
your
help
mic.
if I had a microphone unmuted.
All right,
Video
cool.
shows thousands of prisoners, reportedly including Islamic State and Al Qaeda fighters, freed from Kabul jail by the Taliban. It says thousands of inmates, including former Islamic State and Al Qaeda fighters, were released from a prison on the outskirts of Kabul as the Taliban called for a peaceful transition of power. Afghan government troops surrendered Bagram Air Base to the Taliban early on Sunday. The base house prison, which has around 5,000 prisoners, it's the largest in Afghanistan and notorious for its poor conditions. A maximum security cell block held members of Al Qaeda and Taliban. Footage published by an independent Afghan news agency, which supports the Taliban, appears to show militants letting the inmates out. And local residents say they have also heard gunfire coming from the facility.
All right. So I want you guys to imagine this. Imagine, if you will, I'm going to give you guys a DC. I know DC is not as popular as Marvel, but you guys understand. Imagine that somebody just rolled up to Arkham Asylum and they killed all the guards. They opened up all the cell doors and let everyone out. Everyone that was in there, they're like, come on out. Freedom. Freedom. And then as they walked out, the Joker and, well, whoever, Zach, who's in Arkham? You tell me, you know. And as they walked out, they handed them all a brand new U.S. military Colt M4 with a full capacity magazine. They're like, here you go, man. Enjoy your freedom. Have a good time. What do you think would happen in Gotham City if someone just like rolled up and shot all the guards and opened up Arkham and let them all walk out? And then, you know, gave them brand new M4s as they were walking out. What do you think would happen in Gotham City? Well, nothing. It would all be fine. Those people just wanted their freedom. Let me go ahead and hip you to something, cats. For those of you that don't pay attention to world politics, thanks to the Democrats and the American media, we essentially closed down Guantanamo Bay, Camp X-Ray, Club Gitmo, as Rush used to call it. It's been a non-issue for probably 10 years or more. And something that I've known about, because I know folks who do stuff overseas, is that the new Gitmo was actually in Bagram. The world's supervillains. If you guys have watched the Boys, that Amazon TV show about superheroes and stuff, and they had this discussion over super terrorists or whatever, and they decided no, they're going to be supervillains. Like, okay, so the worst supervillains in the world were being housed at the facility at Bagram. All right. And so what we just did is we walked away. Well, why would we just walk away? Because soldiers follow orders, and orders come from Washington, D.C. So we walked away from this supermax prison, which has the worst criminal terrorists in the world in it, supervillains, and we walked away. We left. So the Taliban rolls up, and whoever's left, you know, Mo and Joe and whoever, and they just cap those suckers. They go in, they open all the doors. They're like, brothers, you are free. And check it out, bros. We have Connex boxes filled with weapons that the Americans left behind. You're like, no way, bro. And they're like, way, bro. Check it out. You want a 240 Bravo? It's yours. Bam. You want an M4 with a 203 grenade launcher on it? Bam. It's yours, bro. And they're high-fiving like crazy. Hey, all of you people, all you folk out there who've been writing stupid Facebook messages and posts about, we just need to let them deal with their own problems, and it was beyond time for us to get out, and it doesn't matter, and I don't care what happens over there anyway. You're going to care, because thousands of supervillains were just released, given a high five and a brand new American assault rifle, and grenades, whatever, and let loose. Oh, but I'm sure the Taliban's going to they're probably going to put them on what? Jared, what are they going to put them on? Unmute your microphone, hippie. What are they going to put them on?
They're on double secret probation.
They're going to put them on supervised adult probation, because that works. That's what we do in America. We take the worst criminals in America, rapists, murderers, and stuff, and we let them out of jail, but we put them on supervised adult probation, because that'll stop them. That'll learn them. I'm sure the Taliban's going to put all these supervillains on adult probation. Dude, those guys are probably already, most of those guys, here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the reality of the world in which we live. They're already gone. They're already out of Afghanistan. Well, where would they go, Paul? I don't know. Where would they go? But here's where they're going to start popping up. They're going to start popping up all over Asia. They're going to start popping up in Africa. They're going to start popping up in Europe. Well, no, they won't go to Europe, because Europe has very strict immigration policies, and you can't just walk into a country in Europe. Oh, that's right, you can. I forgot. If you're a refugee, you can just walk into Germany, man. You can just walk into France. Oh, well, kids, do you know why we were in it? I know a lot of you guys don't remember because it's been 20 years. Why did we go to Afghanistan in the first place? Because we're American imperialists, and we're mean, and we're trying to inflict our will, and we're trying to force freedom on other people. No, jackhole. We were in Afghanistan because during the reign of William Jefferson Clinton, when he was having a good time in the White House getting Hummers from interns, the Taliban took over that country and set up terrorist training camps all over the place. They were high-fiving each other, man, and they gave money and food. And you guys probably don't remember, because history is a bother, when our embassies in Africa were bombed and hundreds of people died. Well, it's just in Africa. When the Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia was bombed and hundreds of people died. Wow. Who did that, Jared? Who bombed all the embassies in the Khobar Towers? A little group called Al-Qaeda. Where was Al-Qaeda headquartered and training? In Afghanistan. With the full and a blessing and approval of the Taliban. That's why we went there, kids. That's why it matters. Well, it's not like that's going to happen again. Yeah, because we learned them. Yeah. We learned them, boy, and they're feared now, because for the next 3 years, to whenever Sniffy Joe gets impeached or Article 25 or whatever, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we better listen to Amnesty International and the UN and not do bad things." You guys notice how the American media is not quite dealing with it, but the foreign media is? The BBC reported 2 weeks ago how they were the Taliban was just running through villages, capturing women and using them as wives. I like how they use the euphemism wives for their soldiers. You mean sex slaves? No, wives. Yeah, ceremony and everything. Okay. And I like how the CNN reporters are now really super concerned about what's going to happen with women's rights. The same CNN reporters that spent 4 years dogging Donald Trump, Orange Man bad, Orange Man have to go. Let me tell you what about the Orange Man. Whether you liked, his tweets were mean. Bet you'd like some mean tweets about now, wouldn't you? Ladies and gentlemen, whether you liked him or whether he was said hurtful things, do you know what the world did with Donald Trump? They respected him and they feared him. They wouldn't have pulled this crap on Donald Trump. They didn't pull this crap on Reagan. Do you really believe that the Taliban is going to, well, now that we've allowed them to just sweep out through the country, kids, last week they sent a MEU, that's a Marine Expeditionary Unit, emergency to Afghanistan to cover the withdrawal. So as the hordes and swarms of Taliban fighters are descending on Bagram Air Base and on our embassy, where were the gunships to shoot them to pieces? We were told that they sent 2 C-130 gunships over there to cover. Where were they? We didn't use them? Why? We can't kill our enemy. Can't kill our enemy? So now, if you care to pay attention, tons of American nationals are trapped and can't get out. Can't get to Kabul. How did this happen? Ladies and gentlemen, it had happened because we were betrayed. Guys, in 1987, I became a United States Marine. Went through basic training, went through infantry school. Then I went through demo school. That was part of my training as a dude, right? Learned how to blow stuff up, which is really a fun thing to have the government pay you to do. If you get a chance, I would suggest you do that. But one of the things we learned was how to, and we were instructed in that you never leave weapons behind for the enemy. If you have to retreat, if you have to bug out, you don't leave tanks, trucks, artillery pieces, anything. You don't leave that behind for the enemy to use. A white phosphorus grenade on the engine block, open the hood, throw the white phosphorus grenade in there after you pull the pin and haul butt out of there. I think white phosphorus burns at what? Is it 7 or 5? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Burns at. White phosphorus burns at. Come on, give me the. It's super hot. Super hot. It's hot enough to melt steel. I'll tell you that. We learned about white phosphorus and how white phosphorus will melt through steel, right? We learned how to disable and destroy. You say, why are you telling me this story, Paul? I don't care. All right. We knew how to do this back in the 80s, in the old days, back before the internet. So riddle me this, Batman. How is it that the Taliban is posing for pictures with their captured MRAPs? You know what an MRAP is? It's a mine-resistant armored personnel vehicle, right? Things we had to come up with because of the roadside bombings. Big armored vehicles. The Scan Eagle drones. They captured a crap ton of drones. You think that's a technology we probably don't want on the black market? Because when you know how something works, you know how to defeat that thing. And it's not just those. It's helicopters, it's trucks, it's armored vehicles. And then we were treated to because they can't help themselves. They have to video everything. They're like children when it comes to video phones and stuff. Posing with captured American machine guns. M4s, you name it. Browning 50 caliber machine guns. Do you think that's probably something we don't want to put into the hands of the enemy, is M2 Browning 50 caliber machine guns? Or do you think it doesn't matter? What's the Taliban going to do with those? Either A, use them to kill people, or B, sell them. And let me tell you what, kids, the people that the Taliban sells that armor to are not our friends. They're not friends of America. All right. Why didn't they destroy that stuff? Why did they leave it? Well, they didn't have time. They didn't know how. No, they did have time, and they did know how, because they were ordered to leave it behind. Because soldiers follow orders. Where did their commanders, where did the colonels and generals get the orders to just leave everything and go? They got them from Washington, D.C. Ladies and gentlemen, this country has been betrayed. This country has been, our allies have been betrayed, and you have been betrayed. This didn't have to happen like this. Well, we had to get out anyway, Paul. We had to get out. It was time to go. So however we do it. No, that's not how you do it. You don't leave behind $1 billion worth of weapons and armor and hardware for the enemy to take. You don't do that. I don't even want to ask how much intelligence the Chinese are going to get from the computers we left behind. Oh, the Chinese aren't. How would the Chinese get that? Did you not read the news? Last week, the Chinese said that they were prepared to accept the Taliban as a legitimate government and send their ambassadors over to shake their freaking hands. What? Yeah. So the last story we have, this comes as a great big, no kidding? Jared, Epoch Times.
It says DHS issues new terrorism threat alert ahead of 9/11 anniversary. This is August 15th, 2021. The Department of Homeland Security on August 13th issued a new national terrorism bulletin warning of a heightened threat environment across the United States as the 20th anniversary of 9/11 terrorist attack approaches. The United States continues to face diverse and challenging threats, according to DHS. Those threats include domestic terrorist activities by individuals or groups engaged in grievance-based violence, and those motivated by foreign terrorists and other
I
was thinking a different word, and other malign foreign influences.
All right, you can stop right there. I like how they like, oh well, it's not just mean foreign Al Qaeda Taliban kind of guys. It's these Trump guys too. It wasn't the Trump voters that were just given $1 billion worth of weapons by the U.S. government. Wasn't Trump voters that just got machine guns, grenade launchers, and armored vehicles. It was the enemies of the United States. The people that jump around in the streets screaming death to America, that's who we just handed $1 billion worth of military weapons and hardware to. That's who got it. And I like how they threw a increasing COVID cases in there. It's like, you've got to be kidding me. What world are we living in here? History matters, kids. What just happened in the last week, this is like throwing a pebble into a calm little pond. You know, you got your smooth, glassy pond. You take one little pebble, you pitch it in there, and it ripples. The ripple effect from what happened this last week is going to take place, and it's going to carry on for a long time. And you need to educate yourself, your friends, your children, and they need to understand this. and you need to be educated and prepare yourself. And like I said on Monday, one of the best ways to educate yourself is to go to the Patriot bookshelf and start picking up some books and reading them. That's what we're going to do. All right, that's it. That is it. Tomorrow, we'll be back for a bonus hour. That's right. We're going to have a bonus hour tomorrow for grad program members. What we will discuss, I will let you know tomorrow. Until then, brave patriots of America, remember, you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.